Hello. Going to give this a few seconds to actually start. We have a lot of interesting things to talk about today, most of which are questions, not answers. Sorry. But something is happening and it is not being reported in the West. I've spoken to a few people already from the U.S. and also even some people here in the Middle East. And if they're not in front of the news, and I think in the U.S. they're not reporting this, something really mysterious is going on in Iran. Okay, so I'm Nicole Gentzian. I'm a reporter. I'm based in Jerusalem. And if you're joining me for the first time or for another time because you're like my family member or something, and usually I think I'm only speaking to my family. I don't even explain who it is around me or where I am or who I'm talking to. But anyway, thank you for joining. I think extremely important right now to talk about this. And hello, Sophia. Thank you for joining. Today at around 2:30 my time in Jerusalem, there were reports of explosions in Iran. Mysterious explosions. Now, not airstrikes, not what do you call it, not drones as far as I know, but mysterious explosions. Of course, this is how timing has to be when you do this from home. Oh, you have a key, but you make me get up anyway?
No.
Okay. All right. So there's a live going on, girls. All right, so mysterious explosions in various places in Iran. And this is, of course, now going on to the backdrop of wars and rumors of wars, and especially a lot of rumors and a lot of military buildup by the U.S. and a lot of threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. So in the midst of this buildup there, all around here, there's a lot of military equipment, aircraft carriers, etc. Over here on this side of the world now, there's a lot of posturing. There's a lot of negotiations. But let's so this isn't happening in a vacuum where, let's say, there was really a gas leak or an explosion in Iran. Probably wouldn't be reported anywhere else in the world because that's local news, right? But now, of course, we're all wondering, what does it mean? Who did it? So we're going to ask all these questions. All right. So far, what we know, there's been between 3 to 5 explosions around the country. These are in different places. There's one outside of Tehran. There's one in Bandar Abbas, which is a southern port city on the Strait of Hormuz. There is later there was one in Qom and in Ahvaz. There's I think another one in Pakdash. I think I've already just named five places. So there's quite a few, and I cannot confirm exactly how many so far. They're saying, and of course this is coming from the regime, so grain of salt, that these were all gas leaks, or they said, like a few of them, like the one in Aqsa, they said was Ahvaz, they said was a gas leak. And also I think they're saying the same thing about Bandar Abbas. So now, what are the odds, you tell me, of having gas leak explosions near simultaneously in about 3 to 5 places around a very large country? What are the odds of that? That would actually be happening? And what are the odds of that? Wait, Raya, can you open the door? The cat. Oh, but hide the chicken, please, at the same time, because there's chicken out there. Yeah. Can you hide the chicken? Can you put it back in the fridge, please? Thanks. All right. So of course, everything happens now. All right. So what are the odds that would happen? Now, let's talk about the fact that if it wasn't now, Israel already denied that it was them. They said, we didn't do that. Israel does take credit for certain things. Certainly in Iran, they took very clear credit at 3 a.m. when they, like in June, right at the start of the 12-day war, Israel set off sirens around the country to wake up the whole country of Israel to say, hey guys, we're bombing Iran. Like there was no question. It was an official statement. It was an official wake up call, no pun intended, for at least the whole country, if not the world. So anyway, so Israel took credit back then. Now, if this was some kind of undercover operation, it would be, they would be less likely to take credit for it. So would it be them? And then also the US is saying nothing, and also it's not being reported in the American news. So what does it all mean? Okay, let's go on. Okay, so rumors are that the target in Bandar Abbas and or victim was a naval commander in the IRGC. The IRGC is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Iran. So was it him? The name escapes me at the moment. Iran says no way. You know, he was not a target, nor was he killed. But the rumors are going around that he was the target and a victim. Okay, so I think the number is something about a dozen killed in these various explosions. And again, they're saying gas leak, not an airstrike and not a drone. We don't know at this point. Okay, so what was it and who did it? Like I said, the US said no, Israel said no. I don't know if any Iranian opposition group has enough ability or capability to pull off such a thing. What does it actually do? Does it destabilize the country? I mean, not of course on a mass level. What's going on right now is that there is martial law across the country. We're talking upwards of perhaps 40,000 people killed by the regime, protesters who were out there protesting from early January. There were, I think you can say, tens of thousands, if not millions, in the streets around the country were protesting. And then the internet went off on January 8th, and we are getting trickles of videos of an absolute bloodbath and slaughter of the protesters. Tens of thousands. I think it's a confirmed at least 20,000 by external rights groups, human rights groups, and I think the regime said 6,000. But we're getting reports that the number is much, much higher, up to 40,000, perhaps more. I mean, people killed in their hospital bed, like protesters who were injured, who went to the hospital, killed, and then you see like the body bags with like dozens, if not hundreds of bodies in black bags, like in morgues and other warehouses for people to come and identify their loved ones, and some of them with hospital equipment, whether tubes or tape or monitors on them, still while they're dead in a morgue. So anyway, absolutely chaotic what is happening there. Okay, so US has not really weighed in. I don't know if you're in the US, are you even hearing about these explosions? And I have to say, it's the top news over here in Israel. They've kind of they ran out of things to talk about, so now they're showing other things. Like there's a protest in Israel, about 10,000 people that are against. Like there's a lot of Arab on Arab violence in the Arab communities here, and so there's this protest with Jews and Arabs to say, okay, we've got to repair the situation. Like this is a disaster. I think it's something like last year was a couple hundred murders, and a lot of it is like mafia like killings. It's like families, clans, different complications such as that. And so they're saying the Israeli police has to really step up in the Arab sector. So anyway, so that's going on. There's also attacks in Gaza. I heard a reporter actually say, like we were talking this afternoon, said like, is the military trying to just use up its entire bank of targets before they move on to phase 2 of the ceasefire, which includes like the demilitarization of Hamas and installing a civil government that will work on the reconstruction and the Gaza society, the political system, etc. And in the meantime, they want Hamas out. But Israel, in the meantime, I think there's something like, where's the number? I have it here: 32 people killed in Gaza just from the Israeli strikes today, just today. So anyway, and of course there was also strikes in Lebanon, because I say of course because that, since the ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel, there have been nonstop attacks, targeted attacks by Israel of Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. So anyway, so that is called the Lebanon routine. Like, sounds so much better in Hebrew. They call it that, and even the Gazans are calling it that. Like after this ceasefire began, there were still strikes, and they're like, oh, I guess we're in for the Lebanon routine as well. So a couple days ago, the Ayatollah Khamenei allegedly put himself in a bunker because we're expecting the American attack at any moment. Now we saw a video of him out and going to the grave, to visit his predecessor. And so like, I'm not afraid, et cetera, et cetera. But today he might be back in. Now, Iran, since these explosions, 3 to 5 or more explosions around the country, and Iran opened up its bomb shelter. So, well, anyway, let's look at a map so we can really see like, what is going on here. You guys see this, right? Okay, so there's Iran right here in the middle. So I'm going to just make it a little bigger. Down here is Bandar Abbas. This is the first explosion that I heard of today, was in Bandar Abbas, and this is the Strait of Hormuz right here. So it's a very crucial shipping city, access to the Persian Gulf. And the rest of the Gulf states, and then out to the waters right over there. So that is a very crucial location. Now, Tehran. Here's Tehran up here, and Qom, the city of Qom or Qum. I'm not sure how to say it. There was another explosion there. So I think Isfahan is known. Is that where the Fordo and Isfahan, are those the, what do you call it? The nuclear places. Now up here, you've got the border with Azerbaijan. You had a small border here with Armenia, another border with Azerbaijan, an enclave of Azerbaijan, and then Turkey all over here. So, but this, look at the size of Iran. It is a big country. I mean, look at it, even in comparison to other countries in the region. I mean, I would say only Saudi Arabia is close to the size of it. So when we talk about these explosions, we are not necessarily talking about some big impact attack against a country. So what is going on? Is this a destabilizing attack or incident that was set off by, if there are any US or Israeli intelligence agencies, operatives over there that are doing some kind of destabilization tactics? Is it possible that Iranian opposition groups are capable of doing such a thing? What does it accomplish? Is it enough to now? Of course, that was at 2:30, so now it's about 4 hours later here, and we have no change in the atmosphere here. It's not like anybody's talking about so there's going to be an attack here now because of that, or that anybody's preparing for that. So we don't really. So nothing's changed. Iran has opened up their their shelters, public shelters. They said they have like 300 underground shelters in Tehran itself, and they said that they're getting ready for war. Now, something of interest, maybe totally not interesting or accurate or worth reporting. But somebody told me, and she was really excited about this bit of news. So it's obviously captivating, like, some portion of media. I haven't heard it, and I didn't get a chance to look it up, but there's large bets going on about the whether or not the U.S. will attack. And also, by the way, we need to talk about this U.S. attack, why even there would be attack, like where did this stem from? But there are bets going on, like in Israeli society, about the when will the attack be? And though there are many speculations, including like today, tomorrow, and then all the way to February 23rd. And February 23rd, I think, got the most votes. The person who predicted the June war between Israel and Iran predicted the exact day Israel was going to attack Iran, and that wasn't even necessarily like on the cards like this. It wasn't preceded with as much build-up and tension. So how did that happen? Well, anyway, she predicted that day, and now she, I'm not sure if it's a male or female, predicted 31st of January. So we have got here, at least in our time zone, we've got like another 5 hours for this to possibly happen. So if this person's accurate, but apparently this person is being investigated by Israeli intelligence, because how could the information have been so accurate? Anyway, this is all, again, secondhand information. I trust the person who told me this, but I have not checked the source. So anyway, I mean, I just see some comments here, and somebody said, "Hi, Scott Miller." Wait, is Scott Miller here? I did not see. Okay. And I see, shout out to James from New Jersey. Awesome. And Tammy, where are you, Tammy? I was going to say Florida, but maybe it's Oklahoma. What am I making? I'm making things up. Anyway, and then there's someone named Stan, who is, yes, I mean, a lot of people are saying that Iran was better off with the Shah. Now, of course, the son, Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince, people are in the streets of Iran during the protests were saying, like, bring back the Shah. Fort Worth, I was totally off. Tammy, sorry about that. I don't know. You know what? I think because I saw you wrote Facebook, and then I was like FL Florida. I don't know. I'm like doing this too quick. Debbie's here. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And Mary in Ohio. Awesome. Oh, Tammy, originally from Oklahoma, so I'm not crazy. That's awesome. Although I might, never mind. Wow, Debbie, good to see you too. Okay, very cool. So let's talk about why are we even living under such stress? Oh, wait, let's see if there's an update. This is awesome. The top of the hour news is just starting. Let me just see. They have a list here. They say that that they're okay, so Bandar Abbas and Ahvaz, I think the name of the city is. And then they say in Tehran, okay, they're saying it's okay. And then both Israel and America say that, the Iranians are saying that neither Israel nor the US are involved. So, but what is the coincidence that there'd be this many gas explosions in one day, as we're all sitting here on the day that has been bet on as a day for an attack to begin? So why is all this going on anyway? So a lot of it, so when the protests broke out in Iran, President Trump said, well, they better not be killing any protesters. And then he said they better not be doing any executions. And they have done both, as far as we can find out. I mean, we talked about the maybe not official executions, but we're talking upwards of 40,000 people that were killed, many of them on the first couple days, after they shut down the internet on January 8th. We don't have much internet these days. Coming from Iran, we have very few videos. It's really gone down. The number of videos that I'm getting on a daily basis is just like trickled down to like 1 or 2. So that is obviously making a big difference with that. And really, they've got the people under martial law. People are getting killed. Apparently, they leave the house, they get shot. It's been really bad. So I can't ascertain the full scope of what's happening there because of the limited access. And I know there are people with much better sources than myself. But what were some of the things that they were saying? During the protest, death to Khamenei, and also to bring back the Shah, to bring back Pahlavi, who is in exile in the US, but has been very active during this and really just encouraging the protest, but also like encouraging some kind of intervention that would stop this slaughter of protesters. So Trump said, no, once that starts happening, the U.S. is going to stop it, and the Iranian people can count on us. And the Iranian people, by the way, were writing like, Trump help us, like in English on, walls and buildings and stuff. So he said, we'll come to the rescue. Well, no rescue has been had. And it's now like it's at least 2 weeks after. And so people are saying, will President Trump now be a man of his word? This is what a lot of people are saying. Will he be a man of his word, and will he intervene? Now, is it too late? I mean, it went from saving the protesters or defending protesters and saving them to regime change was another talk. And of course, I would say that the US would be less interested in regime change in Iran than it was in Venezuela, for instance. Much harder to control the situation in the middle of the Middle East, as opposed to closer in South America, also with water access and everything. Like, this getting all of the military equipment here is a really expensive endeavor. Not only that, you will have to leave them here. You'll have to set up bases. I mean, and it's not so much a friendly neighborhood to countries like the US. So that was his talk until last week. Then a little bit of silence. And then the talk started going in the direction of nuclear deal. Like, Iran needs to make a nuclear deal. And so that's now the new direction that Trump is taking. Like, they need to come to the table. They need to give up their request for a nuclear weapon. Now, of course, may I remind you that during the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, America stepped in at the end. America used its own B-52s to target the nuclear power plants in Iran. And Trump said at the time, they're destroyed, everything's destroyed. I don't know if you remember, but the war ended extremely abruptly. One morning at 7 a.m., we were running to a bomb shelter. And then at 7 p.m., everything was back to normal. They lifted the state of emergency. Kids were back to school 24 hours after that. Missile strike killed people, I think in Beersheba. Like, that was the last missile that slipped through the Israeli air defense, hit a building, I believe in Beersheba, killed people. And then 12 hours later, no more emergency, every restriction lifted. Next day, kids could go back to school. I was like, wow, like, and that's like slamming on the brakes so hard. And America and Trump claimed many times, we destroyed their nuclear capabilities. So then why are we saying now that there should be a nuclear deal? If they don't have nuclear capabilities, what is there to talk about? So why is this entering the picture now? So I don't know. I'm just throwing, like I said this in the beginning, that I'm going to have a lot more questions than answers. Okay. And another thing to mention, and also Tammy just pointed out, and thank you for this, because the EU is establishing sanctions on Iran. Yes. So that's another part of this whole buildup to whatever is going to happen that we are still waiting for, is that the EU has declared the IRGC a terrorist organization. And that is that is, of course, in lieu of now being able to place sanctions and, of course, being able to take a more militaristic stance to maybe be on the side of the U.S. if the U.S. does attack, and just to support, because they say, well, of course, because it's a terrorist organization. So so I don't know. So anyway, that's everything. That's it, guys. That's all I have. I'll do one last round in my information here, my groups here, to see if there's anything else. But I think I've come to the end. I don't know if you guys have any questions or thoughts. Please feel free to leave them in the chat. And okay, in Gaza, there's another. Sorry, I just thought I heard something. Oh, in Iran. Oh, this is interesting. The GPS in Tehran is being scrambled right now. There you go. Yet another point for the yes, there will be an attack column. I mean, really, I would like there's like, it's like there's two columns. There's like, yes, there will be an attack. No, there will not be an attack. Yes, there will be. No, there is. So there's if they're scrambling GPS in Tehran, maybe we go with the yes, there will be an attack. But who knows if it will happen soon. Okay. Oh wow, Stan with the questions here. Will Russia or China intervene? Oh my gosh, that's like the $1,000,000 question. I just heard an analyst say that they do not want to intervene because that will bring U.S. face to face with America, U.S. and China face to face with America. So, but now that you mentioned that, the foreign minister of Iran was just in Moscow, and the foreign ministers of, I'm going to say, Qatar and someone else were just in Washington. Bye, Rita. Bye. Bye. Wow. If there's an attack anywhere, it looks like it happened in middle school. But Daniel's laughing with the girls. So I forgot the two allies, though, U.S. allies were in Washington. I forgot. Oh no, because that was a good point. Because it was like everybody was like leveling up their sides, like of course Iran going to Moscow to meet was very crucial. But and then there was other in whoever went to DC. I don't recall, but it was basically like saying like, see, everybody's like getting their ducks in a row, more or less. But so the analyst that I heard, who's an Israeli analyst, said that he doesn't believe that this will drag in other superpowers, that it will be a limited engagement to the U.S. versus Iran, and also of Israel, if Israel gets attacked as well. Then Israel would then probably get involved on some level. So now, is that accurate? I don't know, but that's the latest I heard. And I wonder if there's wisdom to that, because I don't know if anybody's looking for the World War III ends of the ages confrontation between Russia, China versus the U.S. and the West. So that's the best I can do. And I don't know. Daniel says amen to that. Amen. So anyway, that's a great question. I mean, there's a lot to talk about also with Turkey and what's happening in Syria. And of course, Turkey on the border with Iran, will they be affected? Do they have interest? Turkey they're not on, I think they're not on good terms. Yes, no, maybe sometimes. But of course, what's happening in Syria is a whole other I've got to get up to date on that as well. So, okay. And I'm looking to see, okay, no, that's it. That's it for this. That was an update, but it was about something else. All right. Awesome. This was great. This was great. I'm just sitting here asking more questions together about what's going to happen. So anyway, stay tuned, subscribe so that you can get the update when it finally breaks, when we know which column, yes war or no war. So anyway, it's been fun. Thank you for joining, and have a good day wherever you are.